Hello everyone, this is STEM Smart Academy. We are bringing to you live our content concerning grade 10 senior school transfer process and what it entails. This is directed to parents, teachers, and students. It is directed to parents, teachers, and students. The presentation, as I've said before, is made by STEM Smart Academy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. Our consultation number is 07 41 30 43 11. So I want to be very, very keen during this very important process. So maybe before we start, I'll want to explain something about the grade 9 senior school transfer. You have to give a very, very valid reason as to why you think you deserve the transfer. One of the reasons is maybe change of residence, maybe where the school is quite far away from wherever you are and you cannot relocate. Some things like medical attention, maybe a student has got some health issues and you might prefer to be closer home where you can easily be attended to. That's also another important thing that can be factored in. So some things like special needs, maybe a learner has some special needs or other school mismatch. So those are some of the reasons as to why what you can give. Now, I want also to draw this to you that a smooth pathway to your child's new school. The grade 10 senior school transfer is a significant step in your child's academic journey. This guide is just designed to provide clarity and confidence by breaking down the official 2025-2026 protocol into a simple step-by-step plan. I will walk you through every step from making initial request to finalizing the admission. So stay tuned, be ready, ask questions in the comment section, then I'll be hitting back to you. So we have 5 steps in this transfer journey. It involves 5 steps. Step number 1 is making the formal request. We're going to look at it in detail, each and every step. But step number 1 is making the formal request. Step number 2 is vacancy declaration by the school. You're going to understand what that means. Vacancy declaration by the school. Step number 3, we have the ministry review and approval. Then step number 4, we have the receival of the virtual instructions. You're going to understand what that is. Then finally, step number 5 is finalizing the admission. Those are the 5 critical steps involved in the transfer process. So let's look at step number 1, that is making the formal request. Your first action is to submit a formal request through your child's current junior school. This is done by a parent. Remember, it should be through your child's current junior school where your child did the grade 9. That's where you submit your formal request. And it should be a formal written request, not just oral. It should be a written request for a transfer to a new senior school. So that one you present it to the head of institution, that is HOI of the current junior school. It's also important for you to note that we have deadlines such that your request must be made at least 2 weeks before the reporting date. Remember, The scheduled reporting date is on 12th January 2026. So at least 2 weeks before, that's when you should submit your request. Remember, deadlines are there to be met, dear parents. So failure to meet a deadline results into an automatic rejection of your request. So the earlier you do it, the better for you. Now, step number 2, after a parent has made a request, you want to transfer your child. What should be the next step? You want to transfer your child to a certain school. That school must confirm that it has some vacancies available. So that that takes us into step 2, which we call how school vacancies are declared. A transfer is a contingent on the desired senior school having an available slot. Underline the term available slot. This is something you apply for, but a prerequisite for the system to work. Now we have some official processes. Process number 1, the senior school you wish to transfer to must officially declare that it has available slots. It must officially declare that it has available slots. It has available slots. It has available slots. Number 2, this declaration is made through the school's respective county director of education or the sub-county director of education. That's where the declaration is made through. Then remember that this step happens before a parent's request can successfully be approved. So the moment you make your request, for example, you want to transfer your child to Miranda High School, Miranda High School has to make a declaration to the county director of education, or rather the sub-county director, notifying them that there are available slots in their school. The moment Miranda High School has maybe confirmed there are available slots, then your request may be considered for the next step. That is not a guarantee that you'll be given the slot, but you'll just be considered for the next step. Take note of that, dear parents. Step number 3 is what we call the ministry approval criteria. The moment a certain school has said, yes, there are available slots in its school, then what should be the next step? The ministry has its own approval criteria for some fairness. So you see that the Ministry of Education evaluates every step, every transfer request based on a clear and consistent set of criteria to ensure fairness and proper school resource management. To ensure fairness and proper school resource management. Then we have some key factors for approval. Factor number 1 is the school capacity. The transfer is based on the documented available capacity of the desired senior school. That's why I began my discussion by saying the senior school you are applying for must declare through the county director of education that there are available slots in its school. Failure to which, then it means that your approval to that school won't go through. Then we also have learner performance. Despite the fact that when CBC began, they said that they are not going to do ranking. So the contrary here is, during these transfers, learner performance is very key and plays a vital role in the transfer. So you can see that the learner's academic performance is a key consideration. In fact, this point number 2 has a lot of weight as long as point number 1 has passed through. So learner's performance. So for example, you cannot, a student with meeting expectations has lower chances of being considered compared to the one that is exceeding expectations in a particular school. So that's based on performance. So it's very also key. So as you are considering transferring your child, also factor in such things. Then prior school selections. Priority is given to students who had previously selected that school during the initial placement process. So you can see, maybe a lot of learners are applying for a particular school. Priority will first be given to those who had previously selected the school during the initial process. We are going to look at why is prior school selection important in that step. That is in our next slide. So in our next slide here, as you can see, in our next slide here, as you can see, understanding the prior selection criteria. My question here is, why is priority given to students who had previously selected the school? Why is priority given to students who had previously selected the school? Then we have what's called the ministry rationale. One, the ministry does so to avoid confusion. This is to ensure more orderly placement process. Number two, to avoid overburdening schools. This protects schools from unmanageable number of students and ensures quality of education. We have some schools that are so demanding, maybe in terms of payment of fees and maybe just resources. So to avoid overburdening schools, we don't just accept everyone into a certain school, at least those who had shown previous interest. That means that they were confident enough that they can meet the standards of the school, therefore they won't be a big burden to the school. Then also to manage expectations. This reduces the parents' disappointment over a limited number of available slots. For example, if a student, say for instance, initially there was an application, they wanted to consider Machakos boys, but it didn't go through. So during this transfer request, a parent still may reconsider his initial school, and once he gets considered, he will be quite happy. But the moment again he gets rejected and just someone who had not selected that school gets considered, the parent may get so much disappointment. So this is also here to help manage the expectations by reducing the parent disappointment. Let's look at step number 4, the receiving your joining instructions. Once maybe now your request was submitted, it was approved by the ministry. Now, how do you receive your joining instructions? A very, very critical question so many parents are asking. Now, once a transfer is approved, all the necessary instructions will be delivered to you electronically. The term electronically there is very important, dear parent, dear learners. Electronically means there is no physical hard copies being given. The digital process includes: 1, the ministry will issue official joining instructions online. You will receive a virtual response detailing the next steps. You will receive a virtual response detailing the next step. I have an important note here. Schools are now strictly prohibited from issuing printed letters for replacement or transfer cases. So dear parents, don't go to your junior school with claims that you want them to issue you with a printed letter for replacement or transfer letter. The Ministry of Education is strictly prohibiting that. So take note of that, dear parents. Just rely on official online instructions from the ministry. Most of these things you can see we are doing it online, and it is procedural. Make sure you follow the correct procedure. Make sure also you submit your request at least 2 weeks before the deadline. Remember, the deadline is scheduled, the joining is supposed to be on 12th of January. So 2 weeks before 12th of January, I'm very sure you are all smart in math, you can do that computation. Let's look at step number 5 now, finalizing the admission. After you've received the joining instructions, how do we finalize this admission? The transfer is officially complete after your child reports to the new school and their details are updated to the national education system. Very, very important, dear parents, that the transfer is officially complete only after your child reports to the new school. Before reporting to the new school, then the transfer is not complete. Before the details are updated to the national education system, still the transfer is not complete officially. Here are the final actions to be taken. 1, physical reporting, where the learner must physically report to the new school on the specified date. 2, the system update. Following the learner's arrival, the school will enter the final admission details into the Kenya Education Management Information System, what we do call as KEMIS. Then the transfer process is only considered 100% after the KEMIS update. So that's basically the process that has to be undertaken. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. I've said as a parent, step number 1, submit a formal written request to your current junior school HOI, that's head of institution, requesting for a transfer to a new school. Then, after you've initiated that, the uh, the head of institution of the junior school will start the process. After starting the process, the ministry has to verify. After verification, the senior school you are trying to apply for must confirm that there are available slots in its school, but priority will be given to those learners who had previously made the application. Then after that, you will be sent the joining instructions. Your child will now be required to report to the new senior school. After reporting, the new senior school will have to update the learner's details into what we call the KEMIS, that is the Kenya Education Management Information System. And make sure all this process is begun within the before the before remember that all this process should be done at least 2 weeks prior to the end of this thing, or rather to the beginning of the joining, that is 12th of January 2026. So I think probably it might be ending there on 30th of December 2025. So you have today, you have tomorrow to have this thing done. For more instructions, don't also hesitate to reach out to us. We can give you more guidance. Remember, our number is 0741 30 43 11. So dear parents, dear learners, just subscribe if you find this channel helpful. Share the link to your other friends so that they might